People are scared of that conversation with their wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend. But why are you scared of it? Why are you scared to tell a motherfucker, your wife, your husband, who you are? Who you are, exactly who you are. And that was the problem I had. That's a problem that a lot of us have in life. No one knows who you really are. No one knew who I really was. I went to a school where there were a lot of black kids. A lot of black kids didn't want to be in special ops. I never talked about special ops with black kids. Why? I was wondering I'm not gonna fit in. That's not what they do. A lot of black kids don't do that kind of shit. So whatever I wanted to do, no one really knew the real me growing up, because I never want anybody to know the real me. I was always afraid of what you might say or how you're gonna feel or whatever. You got feelings. You have a life that you have to live. So it's important that whatever's on your mind, you let that person know. Therefore, you're giving them the option to be with you or not. This is who I am. If you don't like it, that's good, man. I got it. But this is David Goggins. So there's that honest conversation is very important, man. So everybody knows where they stand. That person may not be for you. And that's all good. People love to lie about who they're not. They love to lie about who they're not, dude. And that's, for me, the reason why I'm so vulnerable and I'm so real and honest. Find somebody to come out and tell me I'm lying about my life. And for me to come where I came from and have the resume I have now, you know the confidence you get? How I don't care who you gonna judge me? You gonna judge me? What have you done in your life? So me being so honest and so upfront and so truthful, that came with me finally figuring out who I was, but also conquering David Goggins, the demons of David Goggins. Therefore now you're just an open book. You look at somebody looking right in the eye, tell them exactly who the fuck you are. You walk away. I'm good, bro, because I know exactly what this journey took to get here. And that gives you a fire and a passion that people can call you nigga, they can call you, if you're a lesbian or gay or bisexual, call you whatever the fuck you want. If you put yourself in the fire and you come out every fucking day like this, brush it off, not scared to go back in there again, come on, man. Your truth is real. You come out every day, man, with a way of talking to people that people don't have, because there's no truth behind them. And the truth is a starting line. When you sit in the ugly mirror and say, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, you finally started your life. Maybe 40 years old. Maybe 40 years old, 5, 6 kids, wife. But the second you look in that mirror and you say, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Well, basically, I'm not this, I'm not this, I'm not this, I can't do this, I can't do this. I'm all these insecurities. Your life finally started. And once you start that life, man, the truth comes out big time, because you no longer care. So that's the problem. Most people just don't want to have that conversation to the point where they can go on stage with 1 million people and say, I'm all of this, and have a good day, see ya. It's empowering. It's very empowering. It's the unseen work, which you just said is a true statement. Those are false dopamine hits that people are giving you, man. There's no belief in that. These are teamwork dopamine. Like, I'm out running at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, in the gym, long sessions by myself. That's real. How I'm able to just extract dopamine, the good dopamine, whenever I want. Man, I've trained 99% of my life alone. No one pat me on the back. I did all of the work alone. And while I'm still hard on myself, I know what I did. So whenever times get bad for me, people, all this, who's gonna carry the boats and law? That's real. I hate that people know me for that guy, because that guy is not every fucking day. Like, when they see me, they want that energy. That's not me every day. I can extract it immediately when I need to, because when you train alone, and I lived alone for so many years in this misery, and you're able to get out of it by yourself, I can take myself to such a level of real passion and purpose. And like, the feeling I get is something I can't even explain by myself. I don't need anyone. That's why people come to me to motivate them. No one can motivate me. I have a resume full of fucking motivation. That whenever I'm down, I'm like, oh, hang on, motherfucker. Oh, you know the truth. You know the truth. You know the darkness of the fucking dungeons and the fucking demons that fly. You know, and then from there, it's like, okay, you were there. You know this. There was no one there to pick up the rucksack, to pick up the boat, to pick up the log, to go in there. It was you. It was you. There was no pat on the fucking back at 300, at 275, at 250, at 220. No, that was you. So those things that come out of me, that extract from me in the darkness, people are looking for that pat on the back. Where is it? Oh, I don't need it. Because what I've done is in the fucking unseen work, I built Frankenstein. So whenever shit gets nasty, David Goggins goes, you had nobody anyway, motherfucker. So see how I'm talking myself right now? That's me. That shit fires me. That shit makes me fucking nuts. You had nobody anyway, motherfucker. Look around you. There was no fucking team. It was you. There was no weight loss program or mom and dad waking you up saying you can do it, you can be better, trying to build belief. You built belief when you had nothing. Rock bottom. You did that. So as times get hard for me, the truth comes out. And my truth is powerful as it's real. It's tangible. I feel it. It comes out of my brain as I speak about it. I'm reliving every single dark moment of my life to be here. So that is what people don't get. That is what motivates David Goggins, is the unseen work. But everybody needs that pat on the back. They need that training partner. They need that accountability coach. I don't need that shit. And neither do they. But it's what we've trained ourselves to believe that we need.
It's almost like there's this pill on the shelf. I'm speaking in analogy.
Right.
And we take it and we get jazzed up. We're like, yeah. But there's this other medicine cabinet behind there, and it's in us.
That's
You're
right.
saying the real medicine cabinet is inside.
Oh, yes. When you continue to overcome, and I had so many obstacles to overcome, so it's actually a benefit to me, but the benefit is not like a benefit like that. You have to have the courage and the patience to overcome and overcome. Before you know it, man, you have a whole medicine cabinet, but there's no medicine in them. There's no pre-workout. I don't take none of that shit. All I gotta do is flip my brain, put my finger in there and say, okay, that's a good one. That's all I gotta do, man. I got the Rolodex of just like, go f yourself, Goggins, and oh, but you won. Let's do that one today. There's nothing I need. And this is the thing that people don't get about David Goggins. I can't teach it in a 1-minute video. We all have this ability to have our own medicine cabinet. But unless you go in there and put the medicine in there, it's always gonna be fucking empty, man. You're always gonna need the pre-workout. You're always gonna need I don't drink coffee. I don't do none of that. I don't need it. I can run for 70 hours, and I had before. No caffeine. I got all this wonderful shit that I overcame on my own, by myself, in the darkness. That, man, when it's cold, I'm hot. When it's hot, I can feed myself all the time. And that's why when people say, man, why aren't you missing anything? I can't explain it to you, man. Can't explain it to you. You'll never understand. That's why I don't do all these podcasts, dude. I love you, man. That's why my first book, you did a blur for me. That's why I'm here. I love what you're doing for people, man, but I can't explain this. I can't explain this because people don't want to do this. They don't want to do this, man, but I don't know, man. I get jazzed up even talking about it, man, because so many people think my life is just so, oh God, his life is horrible. Like, don't follow him. He's crazy. Really? It's crazy how a kid that wasn't real smart, I was forced to go only internal. External had to go away. The external world had to go away. And living so deep inside myself, it was me in this brain and figuring out how this thing works. And it's so many people are doing exactly that. The supplements, the this, the that. And I agree, it helps. But once you figure out your brain, you become unstoppable to almost anything. Yeah, you can't beat death, you can't whatever. Your brain's amazing. Once you feed it the right conversation, the right mental nutrients, the right mental supplements, the right internal dialogue at the right time, with the right hit, with the right proof of what you've done in the past, and you send that right to the right circuit, dude, you're a beast. A beast. But once again, you just can't read about it. You can't sit back and be a theorist. You have to be a fucking practitioner. And in that practice is where that becomes proof positive. And what I'm saying is like, God, like David Goggins, he's blowing my mind. What is this? He's not crazy. And so many people, a lot of people, have listened to me in the right way, and they come back and they're like, I'm totally on board. It happened. It happened. I'm like, it'll keep going, man, if you keep doing it. But that is it, man. There's no sun. There's no glory. There's no carrot. There's no victory. But there is all of it in one. I just can't explain it real well to people, man. But what you get at the other end is something that you're always found. You're never lost anymore. Doesn't mean the journey's easy. Doesn't get any easier, but you're always found. The thing about being misunderstood is very frustrating. More than I can even imagine. I can't even express how frustrating it is when the cussing and everything comes from a place of real. I can't explain what I do without it. The passion comes out of me. It's almost like speaking in tongues. Because when you put that much work, and people go, oh yeah, there's been this basketball player, this football player, this. Dude, no. Everything is work. Everything. And people don't believe it. So when I speak, the motherfucker and the shit that is what it took for me, what it takes for me. The anger, the passion, the jaw dropping, just it takes that, because I'm not that. This is how I look at it, man. What built this guy? Let's imagine being in the coldest water you can possibly take. I always go back to Hell Week with this. I hated the water. Hated it. You're sitting there locked arms and you're in the water all the time. And they're bringing you in and out of the water. In and out of the water. When you have this dialogue in your head, and these people are judging me off of a freaking 1-minute video, and you're constantly your whole life, when you figured it out at 24, that I just gotta, and this is just gonna suck. Every day is gonna suck. And live like that, to be better. And I put it this way, I'm in the water's going over my head, the Pacific Ocean, you know it's freezing. February, cold as shit. Been through 3 hell weeks. For you to constantly win, when this voice over here, the real you, is saying, get the fuck out of here. Go. You're nobody. You've always been nobody. And it's true. People don't hear that. That's a true voice. That's the real reality of David Goggins at 24 years old. It's not a false reality. And then you had to create another voice over here that is saying you're better than that other voice. And you're in the freezing cold water that both voices don't want to fucking be in. But you win. And it goes from the water to the studying, to the running, to losing weight, to how you eat, to how you function as a man. Every day of your life, you're winning these battles. And then I have normal people who only have one voice. never created the second voice. The winning voice is the second voice. They have one voice. And that's just, I'm a piece of shit. And that's all they hear. And then they judge people like me who are out here trying to be better. It's something that I can never really, it's a frustrating thing for me. Because I know the majority of people. I know what goes on in the brain because I studied the mind more than you. Because I'm a practitioner. So for you to be a piece of shit and come out of that, you don't just come out of it. You spend decades studying your mind and the human mind on how it functions in good environments, bad environments, stressful environments, patient environment. You study it all because you have to put all this together to create the mind to become successful. So it was like God blessed me with this brain. I had to create a mind. And so in doing so, I figured out every piece of human being in the world because that's what I was going off of for myself. So I know why you go on Instagram. I know why because you just have the time. You have the time because you don't want to put that time into bettering oneself. So I know why I'm misunderstood. I'm misunderstood by people who have plenty of time on their hands to misunderstand me because they are exactly where I once was, which is a low-life, lazy piece of shit. And it's the harsh reality of people who troll you, who go after you. They have nothing better to do with their lives. It's not some after-school special. It's the truth, but I once was that way. I know where it all comes from. That's why it's frustrating to me now, because I'm not so frustrated at the fact that I'm being trolled. I'm frustrated by the fact that you don't have the courage to try to be somebody better than what you're not. And that's the frustrating part. This is a very, very, very perishable skill, this willpower that you have, because I do have a willpower that I have never seen in anybody in my life. It is a haunting force that just keeps me going. And I know that that is my strength. If you have that, so that's worth every dime I've ever made in my life, is the fact that I can look a man in the eye finally and have a real conversation without going like this, because I'm lying or I'm a piece of shit. Or I know, you know how a person, and so many people do this shit, they're talking to you on who they want to be. They're lying to you. And they walk away. I've done it so many times. You walk away like, God, man, why can't I just tell him the truth? Why the hell can I just tell him the truth? You know how good it feels for me now to look at you in your eye and every man I see. Because women won't get this. Women will not get this. Man to man, that man when you look another man in the eye and you know that everything you're fucking saying is real and it comes from a real working place, something that you earned. It's the best feeling in the world.
You can say that actually happened.
Yes.
Like I know with certainty what I'm saying actually happened.
Actually happened. Who I am and who I say I am, I am. No more lies. No more skirting the truth. No more bull. And that is worth every dime I've ever made in my life. And I swear to God on that. Every dime I've ever made in my life, building who I built, so I cap success, because I know that if I ever go 12 months out of the year and don't put every day I'm going at it, but several months out of the year, I go right back to ground zero, which means I'm just David Goggins. No Goggins, no carry boats, fucking logs bullshit. It's just pick up that fucking Pulaski and dig. Hey, get that fucking pump, walk down a mile, put it in the fucking water, mosquitoes beating. You're just David Goggins. You're nobody. Because that's where my growth is. That's where my willpower comes from. And that's where it stays. That's why when I talk to you now, and can't I talk like this, dude? People don't talk with this kind of passion because it ain't there. It ain't there. They're regurgitating some shit from 30 years ago. I'm regurgitating shit from an hour ago. Come on, man. It's just be real. And I can't be on these podcasts. I can't talk to anybody without being real. I'll go away. I'll just go away because I can't give you what I want to give you. I didn't teach myself victory first. I taught myself failure. I taught myself how to fail. And people are like, that's so depressing. Is it? When you're 300 pounds and you can't read and write and you're you know how many times you're gonna fail on that process? So if you don't know how to fail, there is no victory. I never talked about winning because I knew the path to winning was gonna be years of failing first. So I taught myself how to fail properly. No one teaches you how to fucking fail. But if you're going out for insurmountable fucking odds that make absolutely no fucking sense, a black kid that can't swim, 300 pounds gonna be a Navy SEAL. Okay. You better teach yourself how to fail first. Because if you sit in failure for too long, you will never come out of it. So the first part of my success was learning how to fail properly. And then eventually, I started getting a few victories. But that's what people don't get. When you have buried yourself in such a deep you better first talk about the failures you're gonna have first. And that's when that other voice comes up. It tells you we gotta do something, but it also tells you, boy, I'm not gonna lie to you, Goggins. You're in for a fucking climb, bro. You're gonna get your ass handed to you, made fun of, the outside noise, the inside noise. Both voices are gonna be fucking telling you to go fuck yourself. You are in for hell, bro. I am. So I better learn to fail. I found what I could do. I took 24 fucking hours. So, long story short, I had a bad surgery. Surgery was fucked up. The guy ended my life in 90 minutes. Literally, you go on Instagram, you'll see a picture of me. This was fucking memory foam. I could put my whole hand in there and there's fingerprints in my hand. It's just literally like this thick in my skin, just fingerprints, and that's a shin bone. What I did was I said, okay, you got 24 hours to feel like a little bitch and feel sorry for yourself and all this other shit. So that 24 hours went by, 24 hours and 1 second, it was back to the grind, back to the mental grind. And what I did was I took 3 months singing, will this leg get any better? I said 3 months, I had a whole plan, laid the out. My wife will tell you, laid the out. At 3 months, we're gonna find the best doctor in the world. And they did some crazy surgery they don't even do anymore. He literally went in, sawed in my tibia, broke my leg, reset my entire leg and put a plate in there, and it takes 18 months to even get back to doing anything. It takes, what was it, 8 months to start walking again? 8 months to start walking again. I'm at my 10th month, and I'm jumping out of planes at 9 months. And ran 100 miles at 8 months. It is how you look at shit. Most people, they always ask me this question, what are you gonna do, man, if you can't run anymore? I'm gonna be the baddest motherfucking cyclist on the planet. Let's say I tell you I wanna be a doctor. And I go to bed at night. Right. When I wake up, you're sitting there with my college list because you already called Harvard or whoever and I'm already enrolled in school. That's who I want in my foxhole. I want a motherfucker that when times get hard and I'm out there suffering, you look at me and say like this, do you want a banana? Do you need something to drink? You want to take a little break? Hey, I got steady late hours. Want some coffee? I don't want to hear no weak shit. Help me. And when I feel soft, help me succeed. Don't feel sorry for me. I want my so full of motherfuckers. When I'm hungry, you feed me. When I'm tired, you help me stay up. When I say that I can't do something, you help me find a way. You never give me a way out. Like most people nowadays, I hear all kind of families. They come home, that doctor story is real. I want to be a doctor, but they sucked an anatomy or some shit. The parents said, oh, you don't need that. you can do something else. Now, this person's in her 40s and she regrets that decision. That's not a good foxhole. You want that person to say, hey, I'll get you a tutor. I'll help you out. Those are the qualities you're looking for. You're looking for those qualities that they keep you in the fight, not take you out of it. Tape record yourself in those bad moments. Listen to yourself. Listen how weak and pathetic it sounds. That will not make you a winner or succeed at anything. You have to fight those urges to just say, I'm good today. If you tape record yourself and you play that for one of your friends, will that get them off the couch, or will that make them want to stay on there longer? So everything you say to yourself has to be something that energizes you to the core of your soul. So whenever that weak voice comes, you gotta smack it real quick, as fast as you can, because that weak voice is taking the path of least resistance. And none of us wanna work that hard, even me. So just remember that, man. You've got to sit down, like I had to do, around your age, and think about, what the do you want to be? What do you want to do? How does that look like? Because how the you can have discipline when you don't know where to put that shit?
Right.
That make sense? You ain't gonna have no discipline. You're like, I don't know what I want to do, so you should wake up and just arbitrary just wake the up and just start getting after it? No. You gotta have in order. Plans, goals, destinies, journeys. And then all that falls in the every question you ask me will fall right to place once you figure out first at 26. So why the are you here? Some people can't be unbalanced. They can't just throw everything to the wind and go after it. And you moms, a lot of you moms can't, because moms, they do run. That said, there's 24 hours in a day. That's a lot of seconds. So if you want that balance, you have to suffer while everybody else does not. Your kids won't, your husband won't, no one else will. If you want to spend maximum time with those kids, when they go to sleep, guess who's up? When it's the maximum amount of time with that husband, when that husband goes to work or whatever, guess who's maximizing all that time? Every free time you have will be family and what you want to become. There were several nights where David Goggins had a lot of sleepless nights. But if that's what you want to do, there's a lot of time to do it. You just got to maximize that shit. And if you don't, it's because you did not want it bad enough. The second you start living civilized, it's over. It's over. You want to keep that savage as long as you can. So you got to go on that witch hunt to find whatever it is that makes you tick. And whenever that tick goes away, you got to find another thing that makes you tick. And you got to keep that up for as long as you can, because there will be an end game. This is how it is. But you got to keep that, like I guarantee you, if you put more thought and more pen to paper, you'll find something that you haven't done that if you really think about it, you truly want to do.
Yep.
And that will re-energize your inner beast.
And he said, he didn't say, he didn't say, no, I'm not gonna let you in. He put enough doubt in my mind and say, man, I gotta do more. So I was broken bad. And like,
how long did it take you to recover physically?
The funniest thing about this, I don't tell the story very often. I had signed up for, I'm getting to that answer, it's right now. I went on deployment, and me and my wife and my mom signed up for the first Las Vegas marathon down the strip of Las Vegas. And that incident happened, so I ran 100 miles before I ran a marathon. 2 weeks later, roughly, December 5th, was this marathon that we all signed up for. I couldn't walk. I could not walk. I was... So, 10 days or 2 weeks after this 100 mile in one race I did, this marathon, December 5th in Las Vegas. I said, you know what, it's the first one, I can't run. Maybe I can walk with my mom. So I tried to go out to this little knoll around our grassy area in San Diego. I tried to run. Legs were broken. I said, I can't even, I'm jacked. Can't do shit. So I said, you know what, maybe I'll watch you guys do the marathon and I'll cheer you guys on, whatever. And I said, I'll try to walk with my mom. December 5th happened. That gun went off. 2005, 14 days after I broke myself off and I qualified for the Boston Marathon, I ran 3:08. And what's funny about it, I know people are here to say this motherfucker, even when I tell you the story, I want to drop so many names. Google it, look it up. I don't give a like. It almost seems like I'm making my own story up. You got to put yourself in a hellacious situation. It's a lifestyle. How are you going to react? How are you going to react? Like all that training goes out the fucking door when you're in the cold water and you're fucking miserable, and it's the first hour of 130 hours of Hell Week, and that first wave goes over your head, and you're the coldest you've been in your life, and your mind goes from hour 1 to hour 130. All that fuck self-talk and shit, dude, you ain't thinking about that. You think about getting the fuck out of here. But if you live this shit on a daily basis and you know how to calm your mind down, the self-talk will help. All that stuff will help. But usually we react. We have pain, we have suffering, we react, and we react about get the fuck out of here. We gotta go. It's those people who are able to control that fuck feeling of fucking flight and say, no, there's a way through this. It's not gonna be here forever. I'm not cold right now. I went through 3 of them. I'm not cold now. I'm in a nice warm studio with you. You gotta think about that shit. This shit's gonna end. It's gonna end, but we don't know that. We don't think that. At that time, it's gonna last forever. And then you get to sit back on Friday with everybody walking across the, back on the grinder, all the 16, 17, 18 guys that graduated Hell Week, and you get a chance to watch these guys victorious. And then you get the chance to think about that. You take that hot, warm shower, first thing that comes to your mind is, why the fuck did I quit? So what keeps me going? I've quit several things. I know what's on the back end of fucking quitting. It's a lifetime of thinking about, why the fuck did I do that? I ain't doing that no more. I had lived hell. And when you put yourself in hell, that's the only time you can figure out how to get through that motherfucker. You can't read somebody else's book about some theory on how to do some guy who sat up in a nice warm office and wrote some book with a nice cup of coffee in the fucking hand. No, I want to see that guy who immersed himself in fucking hell. And he thought about quitting and leaving and his wife and his kids, and why am I here? Is it worth it? All this crazy shit. And still said and found out a way to get through it. So basically that's the bottom line of it all. We all want to read about how we can quickly get somewhere. That's why the 6-minute abs and all sorts are so powerful. You may get some results from it, but they're not permanent. The permanent result comes from you I say it all the time, you have to suffer. You have to make that a tattoo on your fucking brain, so when that hard time comes again, you don't forget it. You may forget it for a second, but you can go back in the cookie jar, I call it. It's something that we've all endured. I call it the cookie jar, and we often forget how hard we are, but you gotta reflect back. Take a couple seconds to reflect. I've been through this, I've been through that, and then remind yourself, I'm a bad motherfucker. And then you can get through that shit. But if you don't believe it, you haven't endured shit, you're just blowing smoke, man. And you're not gonna be able to get through anything. What the mind does under stress and how we can't, he said how we can't do something. And I did it. I did what he said we couldn't do.
Like, what was he saying you couldn't do?
It was something about if you're born a certain way, it's something about if you're born a certain way, you can't become this way. And it was totally saying that with who I am now, like I had to be born with some, not genetic power or some gift from God, but I had to have some kind of special gift. Had to have some kind of special gift. And I forget what set me off, but it was like we had to be, to be somewhere, you had to be born with it. What was the concept? And I know what I was born with, and I know the battle that I had in my mind. So when he said it, I just sat there looking at my face, and somebody in the crowd asked me a question. And I totally contradicted everything he said. And I was like, nah, man, I know for a fact that you can be this fucked up dude, like really fucked up dude, and with the right mindset, and it sounds so easy with the right mindset. You have to go into those dark chambers that we often shut off, and you gotta open them up. You gotta open up and fight that demon. Get in there, talk to that motherfucker, say what's up. And we often we all like to take this 4-lane highway, the easy highway. It has signs, it has restaurants. We all love that 4-lane highway. We always step over the shovel. And all I did was I picked up that fucking shovel, and that shovel, I made my own path. And you may have big boulders and they may be getting 200 miles up the road faster than you, but going through this path of life, this journey over here that you make yourself, that's incredibly difficult. When it comes out the other end of that motherfucker, there's some glorious shit that you can't even explain to people. And we're afraid. Bottom line is, most of us, even the people who have all these theories and shit, it's easier to accept the fact that I'm just not good enough. I wasn't made to do that. And yeah, some of us can't be LeBron fucking James. But I'll tell you right now, man, we can do a lot of shit when it comes to this pure arm guts and willpower and getting through shit. We have a lot more than what we think we have. It takes 1 second of energy to steal everybody's, and then you have all the energy you need. That's all you need. You need to look at someone's eyes. You know how it is when you fight somebody and you broke that mother. He's like, oh God, man, I don't want to go back to the next round. And you feel like, my God, I can fight all day. I can fight all day long. That's what taking souls is. But you have to have the will, the heart, the courage to go that distance when you're exactly jacked up. You have nothing left to give, and give more. I learned how to control my adrenals. If you know how you get that fight or flight response when you get to move real quick.
Yeah.
And I started learning the mind a lot, how to get myself jacked extremely fast, like in a horrible environment when everybody's miserable. I learned how to really find strength in the misery. When everybody's suffering, everybody's all poopy pants and their mentality's down and everything, I started just like, my God, this is where I shine. And I started using all that misery for tons and tons of drive and motivation to then lead people further. Because you can get a lot of power through misery. And once people see that, my God, Goggins is going, then everybody says, roger that. Let me get my shit and go too. So I started realizing that if you can just find strength just a little bit longer, you will have a crew of people following you along the way. You have to take great pleasure in the fact that no one wants to be where the fuck you're at right now. Great pleasure in that. Almost makes, it has to bring a passion out of you. It has to bring something very, very weird out of you, man. Like, people don't really understand what that is. When you're in the worst environment possible, the worst situation possible, and everybody's looking like, God, man, I hope this ends. And you see that. Time slows down and you see that. You're feeling that. Everybody has that look on their face like, God, this got to go. I don't want to be here anymore. Almost impossible. And that's what I thought. But see, you see the person I am now. Yeah. I was 175 pounds in high school. So I was a skinny guy in high school. So I made myself big. Mm-hmm. I'm a small boned person. So it wasn't, trust me, it was hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And so I was trying to study for this ASVAB test again, that, I got to take it again, going to the Navy, and I'm out here trying to lose weight, and I'm, working for this company, spraying for cockroaches and all sort of crap. And I would lay in her pond in November in Indiana, just lay in her pond. I was like, I'm going to bust, I got to get hard, So I would lay in the pond, get out of the pond, and go for a run. Just all wet, cold, like like the daggone shirt would just freeze up from ice and shit. And I'd be out there running and said, what is wrong with you, man? Like, you were that kid who just didn't want to, like, what's wrong with you? So she started seeing the transformation, like, this guy is obsessed with trying to become somebody. Next thing she knew, man, my God, you actually lost that much weight that fast. We like to take these very quick fixes in life. We want the 6-minute abs approach to life.
Yeah.
No, man, there's no permanent in that.
Yeah.
There's no permanent in that, man. There's no scarring. There must be scarring. I gotta be honest, I gotta be right, I gotta be better. And that's when you know that when you're trying to do your best, your life sucks. And people don't get that. When you're trying to have the best character, when you're trying not to lie, you're trying not to put people down, you're trying to live, you're trying to set the standard. When you're trying to be the standard, and that standard is out, there's so much going wrong and going off in this world, that if people can focus on themselves being better versus throwing hate and all this shit that happens out there and people talking shit around them, that's why I won't mention no more names. I'm not trying to hurt you, man. But I'm trying to be the standard. And sometimes life is just not fun when you're like, can't do that, can't say that, Gotta watch out for that.
Yeah.
I gotta wake up today. I gotta grind, because there may be a motherfucker that sees me in their car that says, all right, I'm gonna go home and be better today. People call me crazy a lot. Man, you're so crazy, but what you do? And I look at him straight in the eye and I say, man, I'm not crazy. I'm just not you. I'm just not who you are, who you want to be. I have a responsibility, man, and I gotta take that seriously. It's discipline.
Yes.
Discipline is the only thing that changes your DNA, man.
This is the only thing.
Only thing, man. You could be so fucked up. And I realized that, man. I was like, man, the only thing that changed my DNA is discipline. It doesn't take away the pain. It doesn't take away the suffering.
No.
You just studied it. You know it. You know how it feels.
Yeah.
You know when to breathe, when not to breathe. You know all these different things. You've been there. You visited. You've lived there for a long period of time. And that's why I like this book so much, is because Can't Hurt Me was like a bachelor's degree. It was like the surface level of David Goggins and some things that can help you out. This to me is a master's degree. This book right here takes you to another level of the mind and how you think. And that's why I say this ain't no self-help book. This is a what the fuck are you doing with your life book.